Hi guys, it's 11 o'clock on a Saturday night and I'm making a video. I'm just kind of wrapping up some odds and ends from chapter 2 that I want to go over. This will help us finish out and help us finish off our first project too. All right, nothing new going on early in this. A lot of this is review to start out with. I've included IOStream for input output and I've included string. Um, because I'm going to be actually typing some words into this. Actually, I didn't need string for this. I'm just seeing out. So I'm going to get rid of. Never put anything more into a program than you need to. Using namespace. So same old, same old. All right. I've declared four. I've declared four variables and assigned four different numbers. I've assigned integer 5, integer 2, I assigned those to num1 and num2. And here you can see I declared a float num3 5.0 and float num4 2.0. I want to go over some integer. It's called integer division. I think this pretty much illustrates what's going on here. All right. First line, I've just got the words printed out so you'll be able to see it. Integer 5 mod integer 2. I did this on the board the other day. 5 mod 2 is 5 divided by 2. It just basically gives you the leftover, and it should see out a 1. Right? When I did this the other day, I mentioned this too. Integer 5 divided by integer 2 is not going to give you 2.5. It's just going to give you 2. Usually when you're dealing with integer division, this 5 divided by 2, this 5 mod 2, they're kind of used together because we've got several projects that you're going to use this for. An example would be 24 days, and you want to know what day that is in what day that is in the fourth week. Say 24 mod 7 is going to leave you 3. That'll be the third day in the fourth week. First week, 7 days. Second week, 7 days. Third week, 7 days. That would be 3 into the fourth week. So it does have value, and it usually does, it shows up a lot around calendar type stuff. All right, this line here, float 5.0 divided by 2. It's similar to the fourth line, integer 5 divided by 2.0. All right, I want to go ahead and run this so we can look at this. I'm getting an error up here. I'm trying to figure out why. Let's go ahead and run this. And it runs. All right. So look at this. Integer 5 mod 2 equals 1. Basically, mod means leftover. It's a leftover of 1. Integer 5 divided by integer 2 equals 2 because it goes into it twice with this remainder of 1. Now, here's where when we start using floats, you start increasing the accuracy, right? Float 5.0 divided by integer 2 equals 2.5. Integer 5 divided by, that should be float 2.0. I didn't change the text. Let me go back now. Stuff like this bugs me. So divided by float 2.0. Okay. Float 5.0 divided by integer 2 equals 2.5. And the reverse integer 5 divided by float 2.0 equals 2.5. So as long as you have a float in the calculation, the result is going to be a float. That I used division, but that is multiplication too. If you multiplied 2, an integer of 2 times a float of 2.5, you're going to get 5.0. So anytime that you've got anytime you've got a float in the equation along with an integer, the answer is going to be a float. If any of that's confusing, watch it again, and if it's still confusing, come and see me. All right, now here's a couple of things we haven't seen before. All right, I want you to look at this / asterisk, and over down here asterisk /. Watch what happens when I get rid of these. They stop being green, all right, and everything in between them becomes live code. I've showed you to comment things. You can use backslashes like that. If you've got a block of code that you don't want to use, one of the best ways to do it is to / asterisk, and then at the end, close it off with asterisk / well, not an 8. Now, everything in between these two is commented out and will not be processed. Will not be compiled. All right. There is something inside here. I'm not going to run this. I just want you to, as a matter of fact, we in this class aren't going to use this, but this is a relatively new feature that I want you to see. It's called, it's the keyword auto. So keyword auto, you're defining a variable called interest rate. If you assign it 12.0, it's going to auto assign it as a float value. There's no float written in here, but it sees that you wrote this as 12.0 and auto assigns it as a float. If this would have been 12, like that, it would have made it an int. But it looks at the number that you assign and auto assigns it. Next one is auto stock code equals a character D, right? So it assigns the character D. Nowhere in this does it say character, but it goes ahead and assigns it as a character. Same way with auto amount. So I'm not going to run any of this code. I just wanted to show you this. What I'm going to do is go up here. I'm going to comment out this first block we ran. Okay. Now, none of this code here will run. None of this block of code here will run. I'm going to open up this last piece here. I get rid of the asterisk /. Now I've got a program here to run. Should have commented out better, but this finds the circumference of a circle. All right. It's got a couple of things that you haven't seen before. Constant double pi. All of you know pi, at least know it to the 3.14. Some of you know it further, but it doesn't matter. All right. The constant. Here's what why you use a constant. You know that pi is not going to change. You can't change pi. Pi is a number that's been used for thousands of years. It's set. You don't want to take a chance. If you don't want to take a chance something happened in your program where it gets changed, always make it a constant. No matter what you do down in this program, we haven't did inputs yet, but we're going to be inputting values as early as next week. You cannot change pi. It's a constant. On the next line is double diameter equals 10. Double, remember, is more precise than a float. I just decided to use it so you can get used to seeing it. Double is twice. It's twice as accurate. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, double is just, remember, a float was 30 characters past the decimal. A double is going to be about 100 characters past the decimal, so it's a lot more accurate. All right, then I made a double circumference. Here I'm multiplying pi times the diameter. Okay, so you know that the formula for the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So we're just going to use the diameter instead of 2r. So pi times the diameter, we assign it to circumference. What I want to show you here, and I kind of alluded to up here, but I kind of skipped over because I want to talk to you about it, is the different ways that you can use this information. Here I'm going to see out the circumference is, then I'm going to see out circumference. It's calculated here and assigned to the variable circumference. The other way to do it is in line, like I did it up here. Not great programming, but I was trying to make a point with all the integers and floats. Right? So I'm just going to say the same thing. Circumference is pi times diameter. When I run this, first thing you notice is all the code above that didn't process because I commented it out. But look, this is identical. Circumference is 31.4159. Let's go back to the code real quick, and you can see that it's written different, but you still get the same results. And scrolling back up here, you can see I've got all of this highlighted out. Okay, all I would have to do to change again is right. I put the forward slash asterisk, asterisk forward slash. Then let's go up here and get rid of this set. Now I can run that code that I showed you earlier in the video. Okay, this is really nice for commenting out large blocks. Most of the time, I still use just the old-fashioned 2 forward slashes. Takes more time, but I think it works better. I like using it better. But if I got a large block, I'll use the asterisk and the forward slash. So watch the video. If you got any questions, I'll see you Monday morning. Have a good weekend, guys.